Hello, planner friends. This is April from April Plans All Year, and today we're going to focus on something that's very exciting. I say exciting in almost all of my videos. And, well, I could probably use a different word. I am actually really excited today. I am going to be doing our list of movies that we like to watch during spooky season. Some of the movies are classics, some of them are just my favorites, some of them I haven't seen yet, so I'm going to add to the list just to potentially add them to future lists as favorites. I don't know. But before I got started, I just wanted to have a moment of zen in my appropriate zen garden that I got for my birthday this year. Okay, I'm zened. Let's move on to the planner. All right. So this is one of the blank back pages in the Passion Planner. And I aged it and I made it feel a little spooky. I didn't do this on camera for two reasons. One, I was really excited to get started on it and didn't want to get everything set up. And two, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do or if I was going to keep it after I was done. So I'll show you what I did and how I did it. I had two different ink pads. I have a brown and a black. And I used this older Erin Condren red marker that I had. I started with the brown ink pad, and it is just a regular old ink pad. I used a balled up paper towel, and I blotted it on the ink pad, smeared it around, and just went crazy all over the whole section. Then I took some plastic. I actually used the plastic bags that you put produce in at the grocery store. I had a few of those, so I took those and I just used my marker and I colored all over it, and I smeared it around and pushed it around, a little bit darker in some areas than others. And then I took my black and I did the same thing that I did with my brown, just with a paper towel. And then I had a spray bottle of alcohol and I just lightly sprayed, and then I did some bigger drops so it looked like there was a little bit more damage to the page. The other thing I did do, you can see the outline here. A couple of places I took the whole ink pad and I just lightly stuck it down so it kind of looked like something specific had been there and left a mark. So that's all I did to prepare this. I did, in between the pages, I put layers of plastic while I was working on it to protect the other pages behind there. And I left gap pages, so then I glued two pages together so the other side of this is still useful. And I'm not going to flip this one because there's something else on here that I'm going to do another video about a different time. But I think the groundwork has been laid for this. The other thing I did was I made stickers that has a header and then, or category headers for different types of movies that I'm going to talk about, and then a header for the page. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those over, put those down. And here's the title. All right, and I'm calling this Spooky Movies because some of them aren't necessarily horror, some of them are not necessarily Halloween, but these are things that I like to watch during this time of year. Some of them, I don't know, this list is going to be different. I do one every year, but every year I change it up for different reasons, so we'll see. I have started a list. I got a OneNote list started, and I'm gonna have to pare it down. I believe I have upwards of 100 movies on the list, on the potential list, I'll say. And a shout out to my 13-year-old daughter who started me off with the first 55 on the list. So she's also a horror movie fan, and we love this time of year. Okay, spooky movies. Now I have these categories, and I think I'm going to start with classics and just write down the ones that I have on this list that I feel like falls in this category. I'm going to play it by ear. We're going to start with classics though. I will say that not all of these are family friendly or kid friendly, I'll say. Let's start here. And we'll just see how this goes. All right, so classics, we're gonna start with Hocus Pocus. I've also decided that if I write down a movie that's got a lot of movies after it in the franchise, I'm gonna do the one and put a plus. So that way I don't have to take up space for all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets because it's a little redundant. All right, so we have a Hocus Pocus. I'm gonna put Nightmare Before Christmas. I think the ink is working out. I can see it pretty well. I don't know if it's showing up on camera as well as I can see it in person. I might zoom in for you guys. Just have to try to stay on the camera. Or in the frame, I guess. All right, Nightmare Before Christmas. And these are movies that we actually watch every year. We've been doing that for a very long time because they were the early ones that my daughter could watch, and she wanted to watch the scariest as possible. Okay, let's put another one that was her favorite at probably too young of age. It was Ghostbusters, probably around 5. She loved that one. Let's see. I'm gonna go Halloween Town. That's another Disney take on Halloween. Certainly family friendly. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Now we're just gonna start. I'm gonna put Gremlins on this list, although we also consider that a Christmas movie. So some movies did not make this 100+ list because they're Christmas movies, even though they're horror and a favorite of ours. I'm not gonna put it on the spooky movie, spooky season list. Let's see. Oh, Coraline. Corpse Bride. Of course, Beetlejuice. Which we just watched last night. And we have gone to the theater and watched Beetlejuice. Apologies for saying that 3 times. Okay, I am now gonna see, I have to decide, is Friday the 13th a classic spooky movie or is it a horror movie? Because I do have that genre as well. So this is also where it probably doesn't matter to anybody else in the world. Okay, I think I'm going to decide that later. See, I got it, but I have a lot of other ones that are in the horror genre that would not be considered classics. So I'm going to put it here. We got Friday the 13th. Gotta love Jason. And then we're adding the plus. then we're gonna do Nightmare on Elm Street. And Halloween. Now see, it's those type of movies that could go in the Halloween category, in the horror category, or in the classic category. So, although it's a difficult decision, it's probably not that big of a decision in the grand scheme of life. So I'm just gonna be happy with putting it in the classics with the other 80s classics. With the plus sign. Okay. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything in my daughter's list. Did I get... Okay, now we have... We have a few more on my list. So what's considered a classic in my world is a little different than my 13-year-olds. As somebody who's closing in on 50, the things that I view as classic, it's a little different. So I'm gonna put Little Shop of Horrors, which my daughter hasn't seen, which is another reason why it's on my classic list that she's going to have the option of watching at some point. I'm also going to put Clue, one of my very favorite classics. I'm also going to put the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And what I've decided to do is to not be so strict with the rules of what movies go on this list and what don't. All right, Rocky Horror Picture Show. What's next for, oh, Jaws. Come on. Jaws is definitely a classic that I love. Army of Darkness. And I'm also going to put Poltergeist. I'm going to stop a minute and make sure I spell it right. Woohoo! I did it. Oh, Edward Scissorhands. And again, although it's not necessarily a horror, it's kind of in this spooky genre for me anyway. And my daughter, she actually watched this when she was 4, loved it, and it became an instant favorite of hers. All right, let's see. The Shining. My goodness, what a movie and book. Okay, we've got Child's Play. I'm going to put the plus on here as well. So this is newer classics and older classics, I guess. Things that my daughter would consider classic along with me. So I'm also going to put Scream. And the plus. All right. Oh, okay, there's more. Carrie. The Exorcist. Pausing to spell it correctly. All right. right. I believe. Oh, goodness. Nope, I missed Pet Sematary. And I am pausing to make sure I incorrectly spelled this right. Or, yeah, incorrectly spell it. Because it is incorrectly spelled in the movie. Okay, the next category that I'm going to put on here is Halloween specific movies. Actually, I might. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Halloween specific. So this is gonna be a shorter list because it's not gonna include the classics, but there are some that are around the holiday itself. Some I haven't seen, so that these will be new for my list. We're gonna start with Trick or Treat, and I believe it is spelled incorrectly. Okay, there's a Halloween Party. And of course, Halloween. It's in the classic column, so I'm not going to add it here. Okay, Hubby Halloween. And I don't have any others that I can see on my list right now that goes in that category. So I'm going to have let's see, let's do, I think I'm gonna have horror over here. Let me go ahead and just put that down. Horror specifically here. And then I'm gonna put cozy down here. I'm gonna leave some room for just Halloween specific. And I think I'm going to put comedy on this page over here. I think that should give me enough room for all the movies that I'd like to add. So cozy Halloween. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start with comedy over here because, let's see, can I take this up? All right, I'm gonna move comedy to the other side. Whew. All right, that worked. Because horror comedy is actually my very favorite genre. And I've got some really important favorites that I want to get on the list before I move on. So I'm going to start with one of my very favorites, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Versus Evil. Okay. Yeah, that's one of my very favorite horror movies. Let's see, another one of my very favorites that I put in the comedy category because I laugh a lot is Ready or Not. And I've heard they're coming out with a 2, which I'm very excited about. Also gonna put The Babysitter. The Cabin in the Woods, which is another favorite of mine. Again, this is a favorite category, so a lot of my very favorite ones are going to be in here. Another one that would be in this category is Anna and the Apocalypse. However, that is a Christmas movie. If you've got singing zombies at Christmas, it definitely moves off to the next season. Okay, another one that is in this category is Gravy. This one is actually about some cannibals who kind of hijack a restaurant, shut it down, and then use the kitchen to prepare the people who were actually in the restaurant who were eating that night. So it's actually in the comedy category. It's pretty funny. Very gory, but pretty funny. All right, another one is Freaky. This was a Vince Vaughn movie. He was phenomenal in it. It's a take on Freaky Friday. It's pretty good. What We Do in the Shadows. This phenomenal movie. It's kind of like if somebody were to do The Office but with vampires. The spin-off show was also good, but there's something about the original movie that just takes the cake. Shaun of the Dead, which, as you can tell, the title is a play off of Dawn of the Dead. It's another zombie movie. Jennifer's Body, another classic, but also comedy. And then the last one I'm going to put on this list is Spontaneous. This is a newer one that I saw last year, I believe, for the first time, and I think it's a Netflix movie. It's just great. Spontaneous is kids in the school just start exploding, and it's really well done. I like that one. You know, I'm going to go back on what I said. I'm going to add Anna and the Apocalypse. It could be watched at any time. Oh, pausing to make sure I spell it correctly. E. All right, I got it down. This is just such a good movie, and the music in it is phenomenal. It's a Christmas zombie musical, and man, that's so well done. All right, another one I'm going to put on this list that is another holiday is Thanksgiving. That came out last year, and I saw it in the movie theater. I'm so glad I did. It was well worth it. I believe, I even went. I went with somebody. Then I went again to take my daughter because it was just brilliant. All right, let's move on to the horror category, which I'm assuming is going to be the largest, and then I'll figure out where to drop in my cozy, because that'll be a little bit shorter list, if I even do that at all. All right, I'm just going to go through the rest of the list and put things down that I haven't written down yet. All right, I'm going to put Hellraiser plus Fear Street plus The Evil Dead. Oh, that could be a plus too. Should definitely be a plus. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. The other thing I'm going to do when I'm done with the list is go through and mark ones that I actually haven't seen yet and want to prioritize seeing this year. That's one of them. Ooh, I almost wrote that there. It is definitely a comedy. The movie Megan. It's actually a 3 here. I don't know if it was intended to be a comedy, but it is hilarious. It's about a life-size doll that comes to life and kills people. It's wonderful. Wonderfully funny if you don't take it seriously. It's a horrible movie otherwise. All right. Okay. The Amityville Horror. Haven't seen that. That I know. Everybody says it's a classic, but I haven't seen it yet. So that's going on there. X is a new one. I haven't seen yet either. Okay, we're gonna put, let's see, should I do, I'm gonna put A Quiet Place, which I've seen and love. But I'm also gonna put a comma 2 for The Quiet Place 2, which I have not seen. And then I also haven't seen Day One. So adding that on, both of those I need to watch this year. Another one I haven't seen is Abigail. I have heard amazing things about it, so I am going in with high expectations, guys. Let me know if I'm off. Okay, moving on. Midsummer. Guys, I cannot tell you how many times I've watched this movie. There's so many levels and layers to that movie. I could write essays on how good this movie was. It's it's difficult to watch. The beginning is extremely difficult to watch. So kind of go in knowing that this is not I would say it's more of a psychological horror. Even though there's plenty of blood and guts, so you don't have to worry about that part at all. It's all there. But there are some deeply disturbing things that happen that are just so unsettling that your world just kind of shifts. The other movie, also done by the same person that I have not seen yet, also because I'm a little concerned about it, is Hereditary. I have heard some similar things about Hereditary being very unsettling and hard to watch. So I'm a little concerned about that one, not gonna lie. Oh, another one going over in the comedy section is April Fool's Day. Okay, my name is April, and one of my favorite days of the year is April Fool's Day. I am a practical joker. I would say a light practical joker. And this movie, oh my goodness, it just fed my soul. Okay, Rocky Horror Picture Show, got that? Ooh, nope. Why don't I just stop here and write down all of his movies that need to go on this list? Us. Oh, so good. And Get Out. Also, so good. I also need to write down Happy Death Day. Okay. What else do we have? Whew. I'm going to write it on this list. If you have not seen The Menu, I don't know if people consider that a horror movie or not, but I'm going to put it on the list. I think it definitely belongs there. It's unsettling and awesome. I'm also going to add Dr. Sleep to this list. This is the basically the second movie it follows up The Shining, and it was done more recently, and Ewan McGregor was the lead in that movie, and I'm gonna put that's not a spoiler, but a warning. The movies that I have a hard time with are those that involve children. I have a hard time with It. I'm not going to put that on the list. I really struggle with that. And Dr. Sleep is one of those movies that, although it was good, I'm not letting my daughter watch it because the focus of child torture. But I mean, Ewan McGregor did a great job. The movie was good. The premise was great. It was a really good follow-up to The Shining, as far as Ewan McGregor plays the grown-up version of the child in The Shining. So it plays out the way that makes sense. Okay, moving on. Oh, I think I'm going to put this in horror. It's another one of my very favorites. Thankfully, my sister is the one that recommended it to me. Ghost Ship. So good. It's not in the comedy category, but it's really a good movie. All right. I think I have most things I'm going to add, I think, are already on here. I'm just going to go through a few that my daughter has... So what she considers her classics. Did I add Scream? I think I put that on here. Yeah, Scream is on here. Oh, The Ring. That's one that we both like. Pet Sematary. I haven't added that, did I? Is that a horror or a classic? Oh, I did. See, I already made the decision. It's right here on the bottom. Oh, another one we watched last year is called Lights Out. Okay, here's another one. There's Candyman. I have seen the original from the 70s. However, Jordan Peele also has an updated version of it, so I want to watch the new one. So I'm gonna add Candyman as the new one. They're called the same, but I want to see the new one. I think it's I'm gonna write Candyman in too. I believe the premise is it's not the same movie as the 70s version, but it is the next generation. And it might be 80s. I'm not sure on the timing of this. Don't quote me. But I believe it's the next generation from the original movie. So it's a continuation of the story. Another good one, The Babadook. And the only reason why I'm not putting it in classic, as some might, is because I came to it late. as I think maybe a lot of people did. But this is actually a really good one. It's a psychological thriller sort of thing, but man. All right, Smile. I haven't seen that. Tarot. That one came out earlier this year, I think. I watched it in the theater with my daughter, and it was terrible. I just have to, it's terrible. I put it on here because I've seen it. I don't want to go through that again. I think the problem is it's a PG horror movie. Okay, some others that I'm going to put on here are The Village. I want my daughter to see that, and it is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I'm not really sure it falls in the horror category, but it's very eerie, as his often are. And another one of his is The Happening. Another similar, he takes your world and he just moves it just a little bit, enough to be creepy. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna do The Conjuring. And then I'm going to put a plus here because this also includes, of course, The Conjuring 2, 3, however many there are, but then also The Nun and Annabelle. So those are all in that category. Okay, I think the other things that I might do in this list is also add on things that my daughter has seen and wants me to see, or is asking me to see this year, that I either haven't heard of or just haven't seen myself. So I'll kind of put this off to the side in the horror category. Which Creep, haven't seen that. I don't know anything about it. Choose or Die. Run, Rabbit, Run. Oh. In the Tall Grass. The Conference. Ouija. Nope, I forgot the I right there. Okay, I know what that means. Countdown. Another one I'm going to add in the classics, if I haven't already, was Haunted Mansion. I don't think I mentioned that one. No. Okay, I'm getting down. I'll show you guys a trick for what I do when I get down here to the end of the page when it gets harder to write on it. I have this piece of cardboard and I slide it in here and I just make sure it can go down to the table. And then when I'm writing, I don't have quite a sharp drop there, and it makes it a little easier to keep my steady hand. I I just want to make sure I haven't already put this on here somewhere, but I know it wouldn't be in these categories. Okay. Now there's actually 2 haunted mansions, and we've seen both. So I'm going to put a 2 there. All right. Gonna do one last look. Oh, I do want to add some brand new horror movies that have come out that I haven't seen yet. Okay. I think I'm going to create another sticker for down here somewhere with the new ones that have come out that I'd like to add to the list. And the first one is Immaculate. That's a Sydney Sweeney movie that was released in March of this year. I haven't seen yet. Another one is Lisa Frankenstein. That's kind of set in the same world as Jennifer's Body. Okay, you know, I guess Abigail should go on this one too. That's fine, I already have that down. The other one was The Arcadian. Gonna put Longlegs. Speak No Evil. It's the one with James McAvoy. That looks really unsettling, so I'm looking forward to that one. And Never Let Go. Halle Berry's in this one. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So let's see, can I get everybody in here, all the movies? Yeah. I think I've come up with my list. I've seen other planners who use boxes and cute stickers and place them everywhere. But if I did that, I would not have had room for my 100+ movies that I have on here. And so I just needed to be able to put lines, and I wanted it to look a little creepy. So this is my list this year. I know that I'm not going to be able to watch all of these in the next 31 days, but we're going to prioritize them as a family and make sure we get in as many as we can. Do a mix, make sure we've got some favorites, some classics, some comedy, and then also get in these new 2024 movies that I've missed, and probably add some that I have forgotten. So if I have missed something that's a favorite of yours, or I have missed a second or a third of something that I thought was the only one, please let me know. Comment. I want to add more to this list. I want to expand my spooky movie horizon and make sure that I am experiencing all that's out there. So if you have any suggestions or any edits to the list that I've created today, just let me know. I'll back this back out so you have the entire view of my layout and my planner. Thank you for joining me and talking about all of these movies, and I'll let you know how it goes. I will definitely check back in and let you know which ones we were able to catch. Some of these are not necessarily streaming. Some we do have on DVD, so we'll be able to crank up that relic in our house and watch some of these. I hope that you are able to get in as many spooky, classic Halloween movies as you want to this season. And thank you for sitting here and chatting with me. I want to let you know that you're important and you matter. Bye, planner friends.